Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of HRD 631, The Adult Learner. And as you know, this is a long weekend. And so what does that mean to me, an fully online graduate course? It means that we have an extra day. Hopefully people are off or you have a little extra time to either get caught up or just enjoy the long holiday weekend. From a strict standpoint, no work is expected from students on Monday because that is a national holiday. But from a practical standpoint, I realize, this class is full of adult learners, and some of you will work or do schoolwork and others will not. So that's entirely up to you. So I'd like to just get to the week 7 materials and make sure you know exactly what is expected this week. Go over kind of some of the topics and mention an assignment that we have due next Sunday. So let's get right to it. So as you can see, we're in week 7, and let me just click on that. So the week 7 materials are available at this point. So you're looking at the video. As you can see, this is the one from fall, and I generally put on the new one, which you're looking at, so when you get this, the new one will be in there. Overview. So we have a few things that we're looking at this week. The whole subject of embodied spiritual or narrative learning, and how that fits into how adults learn and the processes that we all use to learn. I think some of them are pretty straightforward, but quite interesting. The whole idea about narrative learning is, telling stories. Just a brief story about this. I live in a multi-generational house, and in here there's a paramedic, there's a nurse practitioner, and also my wife is a long-time ER and ICU nurse. So I've been fascinated by the three of them in particular, and a lot of the friends that we have, how they learn and how they talk about various patients that they have. They never mention them by name because they're not legally allowed to, but they're constantly talking about patients, and they might bring in an EKG strip because they're, all are very proficient at looking at heart rhythms. But they learn a tremendous amount just by talking about it. So that's just an idea of, and indigenous people, that's been part of learning for a long time. So those are embodied as, by moving, we learn by doing, we learned using our bodies, and I think all of these are just fascinating topics. Chapter 10, we're looking at non-Western perspectives. Oftentimes we get bogged down by thinking our way is the only way to learn. And in chapter 10, we actually look at other ways. How do other parts of the world learn? How do adults learn? And there's many similarities between the way Eastern learning is, but also Western learning. So it's not totally different. So those are what I'd like you to read, chapter 9, chapter 10. There's optional electronic reserve articles, and then I have a few optional videos, embodied in spiritual learning. This is fascinating. This is a really good one. A TED Talk on narrative learning, non-Western learning. And then I will mention next Sunday we have a learning reflection due, so therefore participation in the discussion questions for this week is optional. It's a shortened week. There's no reason you have to do this. It's strictly optional, and it's up to you. But if you really do want to do it, you can participate. That would be fine. So the assignments we have next Sunday, the learning reflection paper, and I have materials in here. There's an overview of the assignment, and then I have a video on the formatting. So we have the exploration, and in the following week there's book excerpts, and these are the books. So what we have, here's week 8. don't need to jump the gun. And then next Sunday we have a LRP, a Learning Reflection paper due. And once again, you can find information in that up here about the video. Or excuse me, you watch the video, it will give you specific information on the assignment. This is a reflection paper. I know there's some students in the class that have never, this is their first class in the Adult and Higher Ed program. These are meant to be your reflection on materials. It could be, you don't have to give me a total recap of weeks 1 through 7. I'm really interested in what are some of the big ideas that have impacted you. It could be anything. It could be week number 3's material. It could be the whole idea about andragogy and whatever it might be. But what I'm really not looking for is a summary by weeks of all of the subjects we've covered. So the materials, take a look at the video, take a look at the information in the syllabus, and also in this week's material for specifics. And as with all of the assignments, all of the course materials, if you need any help, please reach out to me. I'm here to help. We can do an individual Zoom. I may do another Zoom in a couple of weeks, but they've been so sparsely attended. I think the last time I did them, we had a couple of people from one class. One person showed up from, I think, another class, and then I did 2 others, and no students showed up. So I'm kind of rethinking maybe the idea about Zoom meetings, optional Zoom meetings. But I do want to offer, I'm more than willing to meet with anybody at any time for a one-on-one Zoom meeting. So if you have strong feelings either way, should we continue with the optional Zoom meetings, I'd appreciate any kind of comments that you might have. So beyond that, that is it. I hope you enjoy the beautiful Maine fall weather today. And if you have any questions on the materials, the content, what is expected of you this week, please reach out to me. Emails are fine. You can call me at 837 or 207-837-9565, or send me an email and we can set up a Zoom. So that is it for me. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Congratulations on hitting the midway point of our course. Time is flying.